Natty Geek 78 here with 10 strategies to help you closely read a literary text. So step number 1, you want to go ahead and number all those paragraphs. It's going to help you later on when you have discussion questions and when you have to write a written response. Step number 2, go ahead and attack that title. Pull out any inferences, make any predictions or generalizations or opinions about the title of the text you're reading. Step number 3, go ahead and prep for the story's basics. Plot, character, setting, and conflict. Put them on a sticky note or in the margins. Step number 4, I would go ahead and recommend developing a color code system or a underlined box or circle system that you can use for the rest of the text. For example, this student is going to highlight character, plot, setting, the story basics in pink, and it's going to highlight their personal thoughts and opinions in yellow. Also, go ahead and update those character details as you get them on your story basics sticky notes. Step number 5, every 1 to 2 paragraphs, you want to update your story's basics. So you want to update the characters as you get them, update the conflict, update the setting, and then also update those characters and update the plot as well. So as you can see here, this individual is updating every time they see instances about the character, the plot, the setting, or the conflict. And then also they're beginning to step 6, beginning their prediction and analytic analysis of it. And as you can see, this can sometimes be in pink and in yellow. And this particular student looks like is using a coded system, or PC means personal connection. So every time they make a personal connection, i.e. analytic, they are highlighting that and putting the moniker PC around it. So clearly this individual is making a personal connection to the characters dealing with death. And as you can see there, step 7, you're going to read and repeat step 1 through 6. So numbering the paragraphs, attacking the title, prepping the story's basics, updating them, continuing their color code system, every 1 or 2 paragraphs, updating the plot, the setting, the characters, and the conflict. So now is where you want to start annotating and picking out the literary elements of the text. So things like personification, things like imagery, those types of literary elements, similes and metaphors. Also begin to decipher the tone and the mood of the text. Think about how the characters' tones and moods and feelings and emotions are changing. And then begin to see what word patterns emerge, what repeating phrases or word patterns emerge as you are still updating your 4 story basics, your plot, setting, conflict, and characters, but now you're paying attention to how the author is using literary elements to drive the plot. Step 9, attacking those words. Words that you know, words that you don't know, and words that surprise you, intrigue you, or shock you. Here, this annotator is underlining and putting a box around the word repression and then a certain strength. And then she asks why those 2 words together. So clearly there was some meaning for that. And then also maybe an unknown word, tumultuously. And then the reader here is making a connection and an inference. Is tumultuously an indicator of a bad heart? Is something going to happen to our protagonist in this story? Step number 10, you want to begin to monitor the changes in the plot and the conflict. What conflicts emerge at the beginning of the story? How are those conflicts resolved? Where does the story begin to take a turn with the rising action and hit the climax of the story? Where do you see the falling action start to occur? And then ultimately, what was the resolution in the story? The last part of this is you're going to repeat steps 1 through 10. Right from the very beginning, from the title all the way down to monitoring changes into the plot and the conflict until you reach the end of the story. So those are the 10 steps that you'll need to attack any literary text. This has been Natty Geek 78. As always, remember to comment, rate, and subscribe.